you were in the you worked in the Navy, right? You had like
Yes.
your 12-hour shifts, and then you have like a second job after that? Like, what was
Yes.
that like for you, man? Like, how were you? What was your mindset during that whole time? Because I feel like most people, even a 12-hour shift would just ruin them. Like they'd be done for the week.
Right. Well, I can tell you, working two jobs, my wife and I were discussing it. I stopped working two jobs last June. There's a job I had worked for 12 years, and we talked about it. We've known each other since we were 19. I've worked since I was 19, and for majority of those years, two jobs. And that's because that's what I know. I've got to do what I got to do. When things go wrong, I always revert to, because everybody has a go-to. Instead of whining and complaining, I go get a job because I feel like I got the bills got to be paid. People have to eat, right, and be clothed. So that's my go-to. And so I've worked two jobs the majority of my life. And when I was in the military, I worked as a security guard as well. But one of the things that I did that really set me up, and again, I was just looking at what my senior chief called the dollars. He called them Magitas, right? I was just looking at the money. And so I would work on the hangar deck directing aircraft and for 12 hours. And then at night, I would go upstairs after those 12 hours and I would work another 4 hours at least doing on the job training.
Wow.
And that's how I spent my time at sea. And so that's something that many people have to do, but they won't do it. And here's what I'm talking about. When you know it's time for a change, it won't happen until you really and seriously feel the pain of not changing. I can tell you this. There's a young lady that used to work with us when I worked that second job, and she would do some escorting to help the contractors get around the building. She was going through a tough time where her water would get cut off. She was almost evicted. Her lights would get cut off. And she would come around and she would ask some of the guys for money. She came to me one day. I said, well, I can't do anything for you. I said, but you can apply to get this job and you'll get more pay and have more opportunity to take care of what you need to take care of. And you know what she said?
What she said?
She said no.
Yeah,
She said no. I can't clean toilets in this building I work in. I'm like, look, these people don't pay your bills. Your
Yes,
lights
sir.
go off. You're sitting there by yourself. Nobody's giving you any money. But that's how she rolled.
Yeah, I think.